Minneapolis moved to set their minimum wage for rideshare drivers as the governor and Minnesota Republicans on the same page for once.
The same page, but different approaches to this. The GOP bill introduced today would make it so that cities do not have the ability to enforce any ordinance regulating rideshare companies.
I'm a local control guy, but when it comes to something that has this large of ramifications, this is kind of local control out of control, because at the end of the day, this is going to impact more than just Minneapolis. This is going to impact the entire 7-county metro area and the state writ large.
Governor Walz does not agree with that approach, but also does not like what the city of Minneapolis what the council did. The governor said today rideshare companies are like utilities and communities depend on them, so he'd like to work out a compromise.
I'll bring all the folks together to get this fixed, but candidly, I'm not super hopeful because of the decision that was made in Minneapolis.
At least a couple smaller rideshare companies say they'll be offering rides in Minneapolis if Uber and Lyft do pull out. The governor says that he would not rely on that as a long-term solution.
And if Uber and Lyft do leave Minneapolis and the possibility the state altogether, there's a group of people concerned about how they'll get around.
Yeah, some people with disabilities say that rideshare is their best option to get from point A to point B. Fox 9's Rob Olson live for us now. And so, Rob, they say the alternatives really are not ideal.
Yeah, and this is part of the additional pressure, as we've heard here, against Uber and Lyft and the Minneapolis City Council to really come together and work out a solution to keep the rideshare services from leaving. The National Federation of the Blind Minnesota chapter this weekend passing a resolution asking they do just that because they're very concerned what might happen come May 1.
I use them every day. Some people use them a couple times a week. It just kind of depends.
If Uber and Lyft make good on threats to shut down come May 1st.
I use them a lot for things that people would use, like your car.
Briley O'Connor, who has limited vision's very worried it could severely impact her everyday life.
Pretty much every day.
She does have a bus stop nearby, but says public transit isn't efficient for a lot of things. And metro mobility, which some city council members have said can take up the slack, she says requires advanced bookings and often very long waits.
But it's not the same. It's not equivalent to an on-demand transportation option.
Briley is vice president of the Metro chapter of the National Federation of the Blind Minnesota, who've passed this resolution now asking the Minneapolis City Council and Uber and Lyft and others to come up with a solution to keep those services here.
We are hoping to get everybody back to the table. And as an impacted community, we're asking to be a part of that conversation.
Thank you, Councilmember Palmisano.
When the Minneapolis City Council passed the rideshare ordinance earlier this month, several council members did raise these same concerns.
I'm not sure if people understand how metro mobility works.
As did Mayor Jacob Fry when he initially vetoed it. Fry's now organizing a meeting for next week of disability groups, the hospitality industry, the MSP Airport, the Downtown Council, and others who say they were not part of the decision-making process. And they hope to pressure changes to the ordinance to keep Uber and Lyft in the metro because May 1st is coming quickly.
And I'm not sure what I would do instead for some of those needs. It would be a significant impact on my life.
Yeah, and she says that their group, like many others, didn't feel like they were included in any of the conversations about rideshare. They don't take a position on how this should be resolved and what drivers should be paid, just a position on that if they do leave, it could be very, very disturbing to their everyday life for so many. Live in Minneapolis, Rob Olson, Fox 9.